If something is disturbing you, what that means is that it needs to be articulated. It's the emergence of unexplored territory, something that disturbs you. That's the right way to think about it. Stop doing the things that you know are wrong that you could stop doing. It's a fairly limited attempt. First of all, we're not going to say that you know what the good is or what the truth is in any ultimate sense. But we will presume that there are things that you're doing that for one reason or another you know are not in your best interests. There's something about them that you just know you should stop. They're kind of self-evident to you. Other things you're going to be doubtful about. You're not going to know which way is up and which way is down. But there are things that you're doing that you know you shouldn't do. Now, some of those you won't stop doing for whatever reason. You don't have the discipline, or maybe there's a secondary payoff, or you don't believe it's necessary, or it's too much of a sacrifice, or you're angry or resentful or afraid. Who knows? So forget about those for now. But there's another subset that you could stop doing. It might be a little thing. Well, that's fine. Stop doing it and see what happens. And what'll happen is your vision will clear a little bit. And then something else will pop up in your field of apprehension that you will also know you should stop doing, and that you could stop doing, because you strengthened yourself a bit by stopping doing the particular stupid thing that you were doing before. That just puts you together a little bit more.
If it's success that you want, then you're going to have to make sure that you are constantly putting in your 110% effort and never settling for second place. You should always be striving to do better each and every single day. Now, that doesn't mean you have to improve a huge amount every day, but just improve little bits here and there, and all that improvement will slowly add up to be leaps and bounds ahead of the competition because you worked on your craft every single day. Now, the people that only feel like working on their dreams when they want to or when they think it's convenient for them are the ones who will never be successful. If it's something you truly want, you need to go out and make time for it every day, grind on your craft and improve upon yourself and learn knowledge in that realm so that you can better yourself and better your craft and what you're consuming and what you're creating. It's all about getting better day in and day out, and you just have to keep pushing harder. It's going to be hard. There's going to be some days where you wake up and flat out don't want to do it because you're exhausted and you're tired of working on it. But those are going to be the days that are crucial, because if you can work on it when you don't want to and when you're exhausted, then it's going to be so much easier when times get worse, because you've gone through the hard times, you've pushed through it, and you've persevered through the hard times, and you'll be able to become successful and look back and realize all of it was worth it in the end. All that time, energy, effort put into it will become worth it.
What you should be pursuing instead is, well, there's two things. You should be pursuing who you could be. That'd be the first thing. It's like, because you're not who you could be, and you know it. You have guilt and shame and regret, and you berate yourself for your lack of discipline and your procrastination and all your bad habits. You know perfectly well that you're not who you could be. That's what you should be striving for. And associated with that, you should be attempting to formulate some conception of the highest good that you can conceive of, that you can articulate. Because why not aim for that? It's like your life is short and it's troublesome, and perhaps you need to do something worthwhile with it. And if so, then you should do the most worthwhile thing, and you should figure out what that is for you. And part of that's definitely going to be to develop your character. You get your act together so that there isn't any more stupid pain around you than necessary. Well, so then the question might be, well, how would you go about getting your act together? And the answer to that, and this is a phenomenological idea too, it's something like, look around for something that bothers you and see if you can fix it. So now you think, well, let's say you go into you can do this in a room. It's quite fun to do it just when you're sitting in a room, like a room, maybe your bedroom. You can sit there and just sort of meditate on it and think, okay, if I wanted to spend 10 minutes making this room better, what would I have to do? And you have to ask yourself that, right? It's not a command, it's like a genuine question. And things will pop out in the room that you like, there's a stack of papers over there that's kind of bugging you, and you know that maybe little order there would be a good thing, and there's some rubbish behind your computer monitor that you haven't attended to for like 6 months, and the room would be slightly better if it was a little less dusty and the cables weren't all tangled up the same way. And like, if you allow yourself just to consider the expanse in which you exist at that moment, there'll be all sorts of things that'll pop out in it that you could just fix. As long as things are working out, well, then you're mildly happy, and if they don't work out, well, then that's another problem. You see, these are different sizes. There's a reason for that, and that's because negative emotion has more potency unit for unit than positive emotion does. And so what that means is that people are more reactive. People hate a small loss more than they like an equivalent gain. And so we're tilted to some degree towards a bias for negative emotion, and that is also dependent on temperament, because somebody who's very, very low in neuroticism, that's basically anxiety and emotional pain susceptibility, something like that. So that would be the threshold for experiencing a certain level of anxiety or emotional pain, but also the length of time that would take to recover. It's something like that. And so, but for the standard human being, loss hurts more than gain rewards. And so, well, it's useful to know that because it helps you understand yourself and other human beings. Even if you're trying to motivate someone to do something, loss avoidance is often a powerful motivation as well as gain.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you thought down in the comment section below.